Guys, continuing on with Arknights, we now have how do people live in Arknights? We have parts 1 and part 2. This is a brilliant follow-up to the one we just watched as well, which was so deep. So you want to visit Terra, right? My goodness, man, how the hell do you live in a world like this? A world that's constantly at war with nations always trying to annex the other, and I don't know, infighting and everything, bro. It's wild. Or how does a common person, how does a regular guy, not noble, not, you know, nobility or anything like that, how do they live in here? But all right, we're about to find out. And Nightmare, thank you very much. And Kagero, thank you for the request.
Hack the video and call for every nation to please, for the love of God, put your difference aside and help us fight the ocean.
Okay. Oh god.
After finishing the Syracuse event, I thought about reading more of Arknight's story since the world is actually pretty interesting. But after reading through some of these events, explain to me how people even live in this world. Unless you are born with super arts, been given premium tier genetics, or friends with the main cast, you are not expected to survive past your 40s.
Oh my
Actually,
god.
scratch that. They aren't even having a good time either. Now, this isn't a power scaling video, nor a comprehensive lore guide because I still haven't read everything. And new
Is
lore
she on
comes
a
out
wheelchair?
faster than I can find
Oh my
time
gosh,
to
she
read
is.
them. This is just a fun little video about how messed up this world is, so without wasting any more of your time, number 1. The gods, otherwise known as the Fairmoots, are immortal, powerful beings that inhabit Terra. These beings come in many shapes and sizes and have powers that scales from controlling the landscape to time-space manipulation. The one I would like to focus on most in this segment is Fairmoot Sui. So, a quick backstory on Sui. Back then, when Yan was in his infant state, basically during a Chinese dynasty, there was a lot of infighting between clans. Then one man named True Lung rised up and united everyone under a single nation. However, the Fairmoot have been using their powers to rule by fear, forcing the people to worship them like gods. But fear left for too long often breeds into hate, as one emperor decided to declare a legendary event known as the Great Hunt.
I like the editing.
Believing that he can defeat gods, he carefully planned and lured the Fairmoots to a festival. Then he launched a full-scale attack, even shocking everyone with the partnership of Fairmoot Sui. But Sui had alternative motives.
He wanted to solo everything.
Humans was because he wanted to be
Solo
the
rule them.
only god in Yan. Only the Emperor knew this. After all, he viewed all gods as being selfish and used Sui's power against him, imprisoning him deep underground and splitting him into 12 fragments. Since the Emperor succeeded, Yan basically became a world superpower, being the only nation to ever challenge and defeat gods. But in fighting them, the Empire lost millions.
Damn.
The army was nearly destroyed and the north part of Yan became corrupted because of demons. We'll put a pin in that for later. But here's where things gets a bit prophetic. Sui is said to revive soon, and so are the other Fairmoots. After being killed or banished by mere mortals, what do you suspect a god would do when they come back? Exactly. That's what the Yan government is thinking as well, and they've been preparing for the revival for over 1,000 years. And in order to have some political stability, a new policy was put into place that basically said to hide the impending doom from the innocent people. Not only do regular people not know about the gods returning, but also the fact that there are literal demons and seaborns coming for them. Put a pin in that one as well. To put things into perspective, after like 1,000 years have passed, a lot of people in Terra don't even know if the Fairmoots are real. In fact, they would just call them gods like we would. Now, imagine if your government not only hid the fact that they kept God's corpse in their basement, but also the fact that Armageddon is coming, and we might have pissed God off. I think it would go something like this for the average people. You're out doing your thing. Then a countdown appears. What makes it even worse is, of course, there are factions and cults that are trying to reunite all the fragments to revive Sui. We actually get to see this when one of the dying Fairmoots named Ya came back to Yan for revenge against Sui and the country. But luckily, during the climax, Big Bro Changyu, one of the 12 fragments, managed to confront Ya, only for Ya to hit a... But Changyu said, I don't need magic, and just beat Ya out of the domain with Kung Fu. Honestly, with Nyan and her fragment siblings trying to fight against Destiny, by the way, she's my favorite beside the rice farmer, I think this event could maybe be survivable. But you know what's funny? If we are looking at just Fairmoot wise and not the other threats, Yarak might actually be the safest
all the different spellings of Fairmoot
to live in the entire world. You know, I've always been a winter guy. A little bit.
Yeah.
The safest place to live in the entire world. You know, I've always been a winter guy. A little bit of snow here and there. God is still alive and pretty happy that people still worship her. But she does wish that the people didn't isolate themselves. That's right. This god wants you to go outside more. At one point, she basically took on a form of this woman and act as a maid to the Saintness. And I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but they kind of made her look like a corpse. Her skin is super pale and used on purpose or not, but
what is this animation, bro? Oh my god.
Kind of made her look like a corpse. Her skin is super pale and usually blue lips tends to indicate a lack of oxygen. But yeah, she's just hanging around behind the scenes since she wants her people to be self-sufficient. But don't worry, here's a little miracle for you. I also like how they explain the reasoning for why these godlike beings doesn't instantly wipe the map is because their powers are actually landlocked. They're basically nerfed without home field advantage.
Ooh.
You know what? No, she should be. So yeah, that's number one.
Okay.
Time to move on to our next segment. Cognitive hazard and info hazard. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the demons. As we know, demons portrayed in anime are usually one way or the other. They're either just another race or actually monsters. Unfortunately, the Arknights demons are like a disease type, because they explain that the demons make no sense. As in, they are incomprehensible to the normal people and warp reality itself. In fact, demon is a term used to hide their real name. Their scientific name is called the Collapsals. Now, here's why this segment is called Cognitive Hazard and Info Hazard. The act of knowing or thinking about them gives you a chance of being corrupted. Imagine if your friend was like,
what movie was that?
Family, right? I saw these like floating meatball things. Yeah, got like an eye and teeth and I don't know, freak him out, right? Apparently, they're called demons or collapsals if we're getting technical. The Snow Priest and something about getting my memory wipe. Wait, so kind of like Doom. Yeah, I guess you could.
What the hell? Oh my god, what in the creepypasta, bro?
But there's also this part that doesn't make sense to me. So there's this country called Sammy that's located super close to the north. Their Fairmoot, called Sammy, is slowly being corrupted and the people of Sammy are expert at pushing them back. So far, some researcher and higher ups at Yan and Ursus knows about these collapsal. So explain to me how the act of knowing and thinking about them causing corruption doesn't affect these people.
Well, maybe
now, I had to look up a wiki to see what the symptoms of corruptions are, and what I found is straight out of an SCP file. Your body starts to develop black patches, faces becoming a singularity that do not reflect visible light. Literal Walking Dead. Loss of the ability to understand language or mathematics. Luckily, this time there wasn't any cultists. Or at least I couldn't find any. Okay, after hearing all this, how has the world been run over yet? We got some super soldiers in Yan fighting off the corruption. Then of course, Sammy Snow Priest doing the same since they are the most knowledgeable. And lastly, the Ursus Empire. Apparently they're somehow using occult rituals to fuse collapsal powers into super soldiers. As far as I've read, this is a losing battle, and they're only keeping the demons at bay right now. Oh, and of course, they have space and time manipulation too, because why not, right? But with all of this in mind, what is even more terrifying?
Oh, it's the ocean
that you can't even think
about.
Oh
my god.
Something that's even more dangerous than reality warping powers. That's where we head to segment 3, Adaption. Now, segment 3 is where things go from somewhat controllable to utterly inevitable. Imagine
what the hell? Is that Arknights as well?
Maybe sometime go there for the nice relaxing waves. Then, all of a sudden, you start to hear these wriggly, slimy creatures emerging from the ocean. They are called the seaborn. From my understanding, these things will immediately try to shut down your nervous system and assimilate you into their hive mind.
The flood.
The main thing separating their aggression, however, is the fact that they don't really do this for fun like the collapsals. They just want to preserve and survive like any other animal. Flood. But these underwater people called the Aegir did something to them that made them view all of humanity as a threat. What makes them more dangerous than the collapsal is the fact that they can evolve and adapt to anything. You shot one with a gun? Now their whole species is bulletproof. There are tiers to these things, by the way, being as small as a microbe to these flower urchin looking things. All the way to these Leviathan class. These things only recently became a problem, and unfortunately, again, no one knows about them. The country called Iberia, located closest to them, thought that, hey, maybe we should be the only line of defense against these creatures. And of course, there's a cult. These guys are called the Church of the Deep. And guess what they believe in? Surprisingly, not the next step to evolution. They actually believe that everyone should be assimilated into the hive mind because being under a collective mind would mean no more wars and sadness. So they made sure that the seaborn stays hating humanity. Probably introduced them to the internet or something. But now you might be wondering how these things haven't ended the world yet. Luckily, they aren't actually intelligent. According to one of the Abyss Hunter, which I will get to later, these guys only adapt when they need to. This is a ticking time bomb because they only need to have someone in their collective mind to be smart enough to do this, and boom, everyone can adapt passively now. Now, about the Abyss Hunters. They come from this underwater city and are pretty much hybrid super soldiers made to kill seaborns, and the higher grade seaborn can just ragdoll the strongest among them. By the way, this one is probably called ragdoll super soldiers made to kill seaborns, and the higher grade seaborn can just ragdoll the strongest among them. By the way, this one is promptly called the End Speaker. Because they are half seaborn though, this does mean that they eventually will be assimilated as well.
Oh, flipping heck, man.
But I feel like I haven't sold you on the seaborn problem yet. So let me tell you about a worst case scenario. In IS-3, we get to explore alternative timelines about the seaborn, but first, some context. There is a character called Scotty. She's one of the Abyss Hunter and is one of the most powerful people in the world because her battle causes massive property damage, including collapsing.
Oh, I know that name, Scotty. Scotty.
Again, not a power scaling video, so I won't do any math. But mind you, she is just using a greatsword. So she managed to take down one of the Leviathan called Ishar Malah. However, when the Leviathan was defeated, its blood managed to fuse with Scotty and now lays dormant. Now, in the worst case scenario timeline, Ishar Malad managed to take over Scotty's mind, bringing in a new age called the Second Siren. There is a whole PV where Aegir literally hacked the video and called for every nation to please, for the love of God, put your difference aside and help us fight the ocean. But as we soon see, this does not work. This animation made by Ziying Zhang beautifully showed us what could have happened during the fall of humanity. The animation begins with a man stripped of everything, his work stolen in order to make the very flying machine in the sky. But as he was peering up, a robot appears and shoots the man for what I presume is the Originium infection.
Damn.
Then they dumped his body off the landship where he falls beside a seaborn. It beckons to him, inviting him into the many, where his pain and suffering will disappear. Assimilations. Then, giant flying mantis soars through the destroyed city. Waves of endless seaborn storms the landship, but the machine managed to repel them with giant flames. Until the evolution picks up. The absolute scale of these things easily broke through the wall, forcing the Titans to hold them off. We also get to see Saria's calcification research being used here. The angel people saw something terrifying, something I believe to be the Sarkaz people. The Titans succeed. Only that was one of many. The red is what I assume to be the Sarkaz managing to repel the Seaborn once again. But once the Seaborn is killed by something, the rest adapt with this new information. the angel people are overrun, forcing a drastic option. It is said that the Emperor's blade, the very soldier using the demonic collapsal power, sacrificed themselves to form an impenetrable barrier. However, it only took the Seaborn a few months to adapt to that as well, easily bypassing the dominion that is meant to corrupt all life and reality. After this, many innocent evacuated to the last city. Nature was being assimilated, Casimir knights trying to buy time, but the evacuation wasn't going well. There were too many people. This image honestly goes hard. It shows the combined forces of every nation's strongest soldiers working together. Their might, however strong, collapsed in less than a day. In the last moment, Amiya had to break her limiters and use everything she can to fight back. We even see the Fairmoots themselves joining in the battle against the Leviathans. Adaption and assimilation took place, and we get to see Skadi Ishamala's form. The firstborn stands before Amiya. Then, we get to see these beautiful shots of how much destruction the Seaborn had created. In the end, with 99% of humanity either eliminated or assimilated, the Seaborn begins to fly, breaking past the fake sky and entering space. Finally, freeing Terra of his threat. I believe the animation is based off the final ending of IS-4, where you hatch this insane plan with Mizuki and he becomes the Seaborn god to take them into space before the hive mind could eliminate all life. It is said that after many years, his desire to come back to Rhodes Island allowed him a human body. When he touched the land again, he witnessed that the Originium is gone, the wildlife no longer barren. And he does get that wish of coming back to a place he calls home. Humanity was rebuilding, and we even learned that some young Seaborn still lives on Terra, with the current people treating them like normal animals and even giving them food, sending a new perspective up into the stars.
That's a good ending, yeah?
Humanity today is no longer a threat. We can coexist with humans. This is what I really love about Arknights. Despite every horrible world-ending entities, Arknight is a profoundly hopeful game. The message of Arknight is, and has always been for the past 5 years, is that while the world itself might be cruel, a better future can always be built through collective actions. By the way, I have only covered like 3 out of 6 or 7 of them. I still haven't talked about the woman on the thumbnail yet, so if this video somehow does really well, I'll make a part 2.
Dude, that's sick, man. That is actually so sick. What the heck? You know what? Let's just continue right on with it because it looks like it's a direct continuation. Here we go.
God! That's why I stepped in!
It is what it is, Vlad, man. Like, hey, look, some people need to be gone, bro.
Oh, look, it's me.
That's not human, man. You're not regular, man.
If he wanted you out of there, he'll go do it himself on feet by himself. One of Satan's greatest soldiers was King Vaughn.
The Doctor was a humanity unrivaled threat.
Hello everybody, welcome to this emergency debriefing. Cause I'm gonna be honest right now, this was not planned. I genuinely did not think a lot of people would enjoy my previous creation and was already planning on another video. But when I was researching these absolute demons,
oh my god,
I realized that everything needed to be put on hold because these monstrosity is our #1 priority right now. So, without further ado, segment 4. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, before we dive into segment 4, we're gonna need a bit of context. So, the very first time we ever found out about this woman was back during chapter 8. This was during the time that we didn't even know about the demons, the Seaborns, or the fake sky. We were still trying to treat rock cancer and fighting oppression. Honestly, to the people who don't read or even know about Arknights, you know exactly as much as I do during this time. We got a tower defense game with every character having some sort of animal trait. We are playing as the Doctor, who of course has amnesia. Okay, cool. But after this cat basically roasted the hell out of us, talking about how much she hates us for pretty much the equivalent of a Queen's Gambit. But as she was going on about how she gotta protect us because of a promise, giving us the sand speech, we get a momentary flashback. Loud sirens blaring as you run through the corridor of Rhodes Island. But then, as you enter the stone-cold machine, you get a sudden drowsiness. The effort to remember is futile until you hear her. Whoa, a human-looking woman holding my hand? She started talking about how she doesn't want to let us go. She doesn't want the possibility of never being with us again, and saying that our connection would transcend even time and space. Even if the ocean completely boils away and the atmosphere vanish, even if all... Bro. So, you get the point. This woman cares for us a lot. She's gonna wait for us, and she hopes we will wait for her as well. The flashback ends, and we remember her name, Priestess, which shocks Calzit. This was foreshadowing for what's about to come. This woman doesn't even make a cameo appearance until like chapter 14, literally right now in the NA server. Now before you get typing on your keyboards, this was during the time where I didn't read the events, okay? I know she made a cameo in Velo too. The plot is pretty complex here, and I am going to skip over a lot while also trying my best to add context, so don't take everything I say at a face value. But during the release of chapter 15,
bro, who the hell is the doctor
when
then?
Hypergriff took their gloves off and revealed their entire hand. Since this video is about how bad it is to live in Arknights, I won't go over the doctor's lore or the majority of the predecessor. But in chapter 14, after finding out that rock cancer isn't actually cancer, but an entire assimilated universe, we meet her again. This time, we get to converse a bit. It turns out that way back, before Terra even became a planet with civilization on it, the Doctor and the Priestess used to travel the universe together. The Priestess described herself as a linguist. Now, you must
like
be
the Forerunners.
thinking
That Halo!
Oh, she's probably studying different species' language.
Oh my god.
She goes around to watch and study planets' death sounds. She states that we were close. Really close, which I presume is like the type 3 civilization equivalent of a married couple. Basically, during this hallucination, we pretty much tell her about our experience here on Terra and how we also care about Amiya and Calzit. But then she asks if we would like to join her again. We actually declined because we still got some people to save. And surprisingly, she actually respects our decision, stating that in the end, we will return to her side. So now that we got all the cameo and context out of the way, chapter 15 is not out at the moment, so the only way I could get my own input was through translation and reading multiple sources. Again, this is a major spoiler. This is what I believe to be the final arc of Arknights, because everything that happens now is clearly pointing at Arknights Enfield.
I was just gonna say, it's more likely that we play Enfield than Arknights if I think, right? But I think I'm okay watching this spoiler. Let's see.
I present to you this special segment for Priestess, the Yandere from Hell.
Shoot.
So this was the original Rhodes Island, a giant spaceship. Then we get to see that this guy is insanely smart because he somehow predicted the future, that we would be looking into our own memories, and looks directly at us. Our past self wrote down the exact formula to rock cancer code, i.e. this man wrote down the admin code. We also were the one who made Calzit, which explains to us why this cat is thousands of years old. But they still had to decipher it. So back outside, the AI managing Rhodes Island was acting up, started spawning in rock cancer monster, mind controlling people, and also put them in a genjutsu. But luckily Mantra performed an AoE cleanse on everyone, broadcast directly to them to gather, and we get this scene.
Right, subject. Might have to, man.
Since it's being corrupted by, for some reason, Amiya, Calzit, Monster, and the Doctor.
Oh shoot, is she the Priestess?
It started.
Wait, hold on.
Since it's being corrupted by, for some reason, Amiya, Calzit, Monster, and the Doctor have been teleported to the front deck. It started to rain rock cancer, and a big pillar begins to form in the center. Then the entire sky opens up as she descends down from the heavens into the real world. And the first thing she said was, long time no see. You didn't wait for me again. But I am not angry, Doctor. And if you've ever heard your significant other say that, then you know she's super pissed off. She started talking about some ultimate dream and basically covering the entire world in rock cancer to save them. Then immediately blips the cancer storm away. She whispers to us, asking us to join her again. Apparently, her presence is so comfortably amazing that it transcends memory loss. We were actually about to join her until Cal grabs us, silently pleading. We see that the Priestess also had admin code because, guess what? This was her project as well. At this moment in time, the doctor was freaked out. He knows to never interact with a crazy woman and again rejects the Priestess, telling her we are not destroying Terra. She's disappointed. Then she drops another insane reveal. Well, technically, we found this out already earlier, but yeah, just roll with it. We were the one who invented rock cancer.
Oh,
we were the one who made the seaborns. We were the ones who created the very gates the collapso comes through. And do you know why? There is an even greater threat out there that destroyed.
What is this power scaling?
There is an even greater threat out there that destroyed even us. All of these projects are built so we can survive.
The observers.
So explain to me, why are you spending all of your times with these animals? Gosh, their petty squabbles are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Honking when the light just turned green, rage baiting on the internet, and worst of all, that pink demon wiped his memory of me. And while the Priestess was giving her grand speech, Cal managed to trap Priestess and melt her to death.
Really?
Do we get her? Okay, are we done playing?
Oh shoot.
You know what? I'm a 10. That would have been a good plan if I didn't use that diversion. Your jokes are lame. Lame. How about another joke? I'm a 10. What do you get when you cross a woman low on patience with a disobedient program who spent the last 400,000 days doing nothing but play with these silly little animals? I'll tell you what you get. You get deleted.
Oh my god!
This woman just blipped Calzit out of existence and was about to take Monster with her so that she can remake Ama 10. And the only reason why we survived this encounter was because Amiya also had the admin code from the memory dive and used it to stop the rock cancer from deleting us. Then we order a full retreat as the Priestess used the ship AI to try and kill all of his residents. But before escaping, Priestess asks us one more question. Do you want to kill me? Now, you have to understand the Doctor's past to see why this decision is so vital. The Doctor, the one who co-designed rock cancer with Priestess, the one who originally sacrificed everything in order to save the billions.
So who
sacrificed everything?
She the one who made us lose our memories?
In order to save the billions. But now he had a new perspective. The Doctor finally decides to stand with Terra and grants the order to kill her. Amiya uses all of her strength against the Priestess, but she had the equivalent of Gojo's Limitless and was about to boom her, so Doctor had to carry her out on a retreat. They also managed to collect the cocoon with Monster in it. After that, she pretty much took the house as well because she basically kicked everyone off Rhodes Island and took control of it. The world is now on edge because there is a god-complex psychopath roaming around with zero disregard for the people since she sees everyone that isn't the Doctor as purely just an animal. Seeing their homes in ruins, a lot of operators begin to ask, what do we do now? What can we do now? Have we truly lost? No, Rhodes Island is not lost. We can always rebuild. We will prepare for the final confrontation. As long as the concept of hope exists, it will exist. With the knowledge I have now, Amiya, I realize that we can save more than just our home. We can save everyone and everything. Because I have a plan.
Including the Priestess?
But I...
Ooh.
But I got just one more world threat for you guys. Now, this segment isn't just any world ender. This next being is a multiversal threat.
My god!
Now, we've been with Amiya throughout her entire journey. We've seen just how much she's grown from a child to the woman she is now. A leader that brings out the good in people. But what if you were never there for her? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you with our final segment, the Lord of the Fiends. Now, this version of Amiya was actually alluded to way back in chapter 7 when one of the main antagonists told us of a prophecy of destruction, the land covered in rock cancer, the black crown melting millions into nothing, the king of the Sarkas enslaving all people everywhere. In this world, we have to go through IS-5, and again, this is not on global as of the making of this video, so all of the footage are from the Chinese server, but in order to even reach this ending, you have to go through one of the hardest boss battle I have ever seen. Amiya summons every single boss you have ever faced throughout your entire journey. During this time, she also corrupts the stage with the rock cancer. Oh, and she has 3 different phases. Just look at her. Then, once you beat her, she map wipes you. But sadly, this is one of the worst timelines for Amiya, because in this world, she is all alone. And man, before I show you this, I just want to say that I wish we could help this version of Amiya, because honestly, nothing hurts me more than seeing a child so utterly alone and hopeless. From the translation of her story, this version of Amiya was born without us, the doctor, in her life. This is the universe where Amiya rejects the ideal of Babel and went out to become her own doctor without the Black Crown. However, unlike her fate in Ending 2, where she saved as many people as she can before ultimately succumbing to the rock cancer, in this timeline, she saw the worst of it all and lost faith. The Sarkas people waged too many wars to the point that it brought every nation together, causing the extinction of the entire race. But before that, Teresa transferred the Black Crown over to Amiya, allowing her to use its power for good. But instead of discovering Rhodes Island or continuing with her medical team, she instead went to one of the other precursors that turned himself into a robot named Friston. Now, Friston unlocked the full power of the crown for Amiya, and at this point, she gained admin control of the server. So she executes the equivalent of the Priestess plan and assimilated the entire world with rock cancer. She believes that it was the only way to stop wars and extinctions. Again, the combined force of every nation could not handle Amiya. But what's even crazier is, do you guys remember in my last video where I talked about the seaborn adaptation and the collapsal corruption? Yeah, they don't matter, because in this ending, she assimilated everything. Not just ending her universe, but her own reality. And then, the crazier part is, she got so immensely powerful that she became aware of us, the player.
Oh,
She was there to witness our struggle. She soon realized she was created, a fictional character. At first, she blames us. Why was she created to suffer in this endless void?
Oh, that
when one story ends, another window opens up. She tries to attack us, but we were just barely out of reach. She tries again and again. After all,
on the other side of the screen,
and patient. She goes through multiple universes, ending them the same way she did her own, again and again, because she believes it's the only way to stop war. But over the infinite amount of time in darkness, she understood it wasn't our fault that she's like this. We too were observers, watching and going through the stories. She even makes a comment on how we sometimes even skip the stories. The most tragic thing is, though, she sees you, the doctor, always beside her in every alternative scenario. This reinforces her desire to interact with us. And on the final log, she was barely able to interact with you through the blank dialogue boxes.
Oh, that's
She was barely able
mad.
to interact with you through the blank dialogue
That's
boxes.
that's the player.
She
That's the
understands
doctor.
that this is the limitation of the game before ultimately accepting
Yeah.
that she is fake, forever trapped in darkness.
Oh man. What the flip,
I
man?
guess
Mind
there's two
blown.
perspectives to this.
Jeez.
Yes, this universe is fake within the universe of Arknights. IS-5 is actually all just a made-up story, but that still doesn't sit well with me. I know I shouldn't really get emotional over a video game, but that's just how good the writing was.
man.
Yes, it's fictional. Yes, it won't
So
literally affect me
thought-provoking,
in real
bro.
life. At least, I hope Amiya doesn't come to end us all. But still, isn't that what a good story should do? It should make us feel something, make us want to take up action, make us think. We still haven't seen all that is to come because the main story is only starting to reach its endpoint. The final battle deciding the fate of Terra and how it will lead to Enfield. But for now, all we can do is wait and see if Arknight will make its mark on history.
God damn, brother.
Hypergriff,
What the
please
flip?
let my baby girl be okay. I'll do anything. Let her be in Enfield. I don't know, open a portal and let her come through or something. Please.
That's incredible, man. Dude, what the heck? Yo, this is existential. Arknights is like, it's an existential game, man. Ay. The doctor being some like OG forerunner kind of guy. It's the same for his wife as well, or ex-wife, I guess. Oh my god, what the heck, man? That's crazy, man. Yo, thank you for this dive down Arknights lore, bro. This, oh my god, that's crazy. And we haven't even gone down the iceberg. You know what? Now that we've watched these videos, right? We watched the You Want to Visit Terra, now we watched the How Do People Live in Arknights. I think that iceberg is going to be a bit more, we'll start to understand it a bit. Arknights is a grown-up story, Enfield for the kid pulling gacha. I might be that kid pulling gacha, bro. This is crazy to me. Oh my god, man. It's so thought-provoking though. It's so like, these are kind of stories that stick with you, that make you think, man, that make you ponder. Oh my god, incredible stuff though, incredible stuff. Thank you so much. And guys, thank you for enjoying my Arknights reactions as well. I really do appreciate it. Maybe there is a timeline, a universe in which we play the game as well, I hope, man. Or at least if not Arknights, at least Enfield. But I really want to give either of them a try because the lore looks insane, dude. Absolutely incredible stuff there. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.
You are king. Dream 조선의 탄조 조선들의 조리어 받고 결혼마시 로스 밤에 지켜도 better 비가 yeah 하나 사간 스가시 바나시 카나 스토리 원하시 drop yeah my time to all you king ta time to all. I do it for the fam, I do it for the team, yeah I do it with my hands team one till we're hand and 너희 가고 있어 three ratchet 폭탄 the fam 각자 verse 가서도 밖에 리듬 타는 것도 각자 스타일이 달라도 너무 좋죠 we all want explosion bam. No doubts the bills are cruising pure cash from the white dot moving never losing self-care with the yellow make it for the bleeding and bruising.